Job seeker tip number 5. Be aware of the language you use during an interview. I'm not referring to the inappropriateness of dropping an F bomb during a job interview. I hope that goes without saying. However, what I am talking about is the overuse of more common words, and more than the overuse of common words, just sloppy language in general. It matters. It makes a difference. You are in a professional setting, and I don't care if you're interviewing for a job as a material handler or the CEO. If you're interviewing for a job as a janitor or a data entry specialist or someone in human resources or someone in accounting, regardless of the job for which you are interviewing, it is still considered a professional setting. If you're working in retail, if you're working in food service, still the job interview itself is somewhat of a professional exchange. And I implore you to keep it that way. Here are a few words that are so incredibly overused in interviews. I have personally, during interviews, made tick marks on my paper every time someone would use one of these words. And I will share with you the result of that at the end of this video. So one of my first pet peeve overly used words in an interview is basically. That word has become very commonplace, and it's a filler. It has a definition, it has a place in language, but it doesn't have a place in every other word you say. Remove the word basically from your vocabulary during a job interview. If you think about it and its truest form, you are dumbing down your response every time you say the word basically. And I don't think anybody really wants to do that. So that's my number 1 pet peeve word. My number 2 pet peeve word is actually. Why? Why are you saying actually? Are you making up answers, or are you telling me what actually happened? I don't understand. Stop using it. My 3rd pet peeve is literally. I've heard folks say literally at least 10 times during an interview, and it makes me crazy. My biggest pet peeve of a word that is overused and misused is honestly. Think about this for a moment. If someone asks you an interview question, maybe it's the 3rd question they've asked you, and your response is, well, honestly, blah, blah, blah. The first thing that pops into my head as the interviewer is, is everything else they told me a lie? Because now they're choosing to be honest with me? I don't get it. Remove honestly from your language during an interview. A phrase, you know. No, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. Take it out. Again, people are using it for filler, to fill space. Stop doing it. The word like, like we did this, like this. Stop. That's lazy. You can do better. So removing basically, honestly, actually, like, literally, and will elevate your communication significantly. I cannot stress this enough to you. Now, my story. This was a few years ago. I was interviewing a gentleman for a position as an accounting clerk. And 2 to 3 minutes into the interview, I had already noticed he was using the word basically a lot. By the end of a 30-minute interview, I had put tick marks on the paper I was using for my notes. He had used the word basically 168 times. You can only imagine, nothing he said in that interview resonated with me other than every time he said the word basically. That's all I heard. So please, guys, take the time to think through your speech patterns, your speech cadence, your delivery. The words you use matter. If you're an interviewer, I would love to hear from you. What are some of the words or phrases you hear during interviews that are overused or misused? And how can we help job seekers raise the bar on their communications just a little bit more? Thanks so much. And I hope you all have a great weekend.